It is a great day for science. It is a great day for humanity.
The CEO of Pfizer touting his company's new COVID-19 vaccine candidate. Today, citing early data, he announced that it's 90% effective at preventing infection. That's based on their phase 3 trials. So we need to talk about this at length with 9 Health expert Dr. Payal Kohli. This is early data. It certainly outperformed expectations. It is a long way from done, though, when it comes to analyzing data. I know that's something you like to do. There are a lot of questions still about what we have learned.
And there absolutely are, Tom, but I have to say, just as you said, that this is our first glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. So I was really very excited about this announcement. But there are a few lingering questions that do remain in my mind. So the first is, how long are the antibodies or the immunity from this vaccine going to last? And this is really important because it tells us how often we have to get this vaccine. Is this something we're going to have to manufacture and administer every year, like we do with the flu shot? Or is this a once-in-a-lifetime thing, like it is with the measles shot? The second is, this is early data. It was an interim look. So I want people to know that this was a preliminary look and it's not yet powered for completion. We're really going to get a full totality of results sometime in mid-December, and that will give us a full sense of the efficacy and the safety of the vaccine. And then finally is the logistics of the manufacturing and the distribution. Now, this is a vaccine that needs to be stored at minus 70 degrees Celsius, which is negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not something you normally find in a doctor's office or a pharmacy or a drugstore. So we are going to have to think really hard about how we're going to get these vaccines to the people so that we can administer them.
And talking about that super refrigeration being one of the problems, obviously production's another thing, and that's even after we've passed all these hurdles. So while we like to do things now, we like to get an app for that. This is how we live these days. We want things fixed right away. When do you really think a vaccine, if in fact this is the vaccine, might be available for the general population?
So it's definitely not going to be this year, Tom. We are going to get some limited doses that will probably be approved under emergency use authorization later this year for a very limited population. But for the general population, I'm thinking spring when things start to roll out, and summer or Q3 when it's really available for widespread administration.
So what has to happen between now and then? Obviously, there's more testing, there's more understanding of the people who've been in this trial, there are further trials. What is the criteria for a vaccine to suddenly be approved for every American to have it made available to them?
You know, two main criteria, efficacy and safety. So efficacy means it has to work, and that this preliminary look at the data seems to suggest that this vaccine is exceeding our expectations. So we had expected, according to the FDA and Dr. Fauci, somewhere between 50 and 60, maybe 75% efficacy. But this has really exceeded that at greater than 90% efficacy. And just to give you a little bit of context, the flu shot, which we get every year, has about a 40% efficacy on average. So certainly the vaccine is performing very well from that standpoint. But safety is also very important. Remember, this is something we're giving to healthy people, and we're giving to billions of healthy people. So we really have to be sure that those small safety signals are carefully studied, particularly because this vaccine from Pfizer is a messenger RNA vaccine, which is a new technology that we have not previously used. So some of that safety is just the tincture of time. We have to wait it out and see, but we have to look carefully at those two milestones before we can clear a vaccine for approval in the general population.
Well, like you said, certainly a glimmer at least of hope, and maybe a big step forward. We'll continue to follow it and continue to ask you more about what's happening in the Pfizer testing. Thank you, Dr. Payal Kohli. And that news from Pfizer also had a tremendous effect on the stock market. The Dow gained more than 800 points, and we'll talk with our money expert about the economic implications that come with an effective vaccine. We'll do that coming up at 4:30.